before we go. Look, I'm gonna close this so we can talk. So we're gonna wrap up 2020 with the last Mondays with Mover of the year. God, I hope it is. I mean, 2020 is like the year that never ends. So we'll talk about what happened this year, what went right, what went wrong, follow up on some stuff. You guys, if you're following me on Instagram, I'm currently fostering a puppy dog named Luna. Go check it out. I've been posting it on the stories, I guess is what it's called. Um, she's cute. She's a foster though, so don't get too attached. Although, um, the first announcement I'll do on that note is in 2021. God, I'm skipping all over the place. I got notes and everything. I'm all over, but I'm starting, or I have started a new channel called Life with Mover. And what that's going to do is separate all of the aviation stuff from everything else. So I started this channel as my author vlog. It originally started as a car channel. I bought a ZL1 Camaro on the very first vlog, and originally there was no aviation content at all. And then I did the video on how I became a fighter pilot, and that took off. And then the DCS stuff happened, and then really it didn't take off until this year, and pretty much it's an aviation channel now. So to kind of go back to the roots, I'm separating everything that's not aviation related and going to the Life with Mover channel, which you can find just Life with Mover. It's pretty simple. But that will be dogs, guns, cars, writing, all the other stuff non-aviation related. So the first vlog, or one of the first vlogs, is going to be our fostering experience with Luna, who is a husky shepherd. I think she might even have a little labradoodle mix. Very cute dog. If you want to rescue her, she is available through the Cajun Tales Rescue in Covington, Louisiana. So really awesome charity, good cause to support. Donate to them even if you don't want to support them. And on that note, let's talk about the good things of 2020 and what went right. First of all, for the channel, you guys are awesome. We started the channel, I think I had 80,000 subscribers, and I talked about if I hit 100,000, Gonky had Manchestered me because I was supposed to quit my airline job and I didn't. And he was going to slap me because I said if I hit 100,000, I was going to quit. I did. So he slapped me, and since then we've added 209, actually it might be 210 now. 200, when I wrote these notes, I think I've gained another 1,000. Amazing, right? 210,000 people have subscribed to this channel in 2020 alone. I mean, that's not lifetime or whatever. That is this year, which is absolutely incredible. And one of the things we've been able to do with so many subscribers, and the best part of the channel is, as you see, by the way, if you ever see me without dog hair, something's wrong. Something has gone horribly wrong. So I always have dog hair on me. But the Folds of Honor is a charity that I very much support. It's a veteran-run, veteran-operated charity for the families of the fallen or injured in action or in combat. So it doesn't have to be combat, but it could be training, which I'll talk about here in a second. It's run by Lieutenant Colonel now, Dan Rooney Noonan, awesome inspirational fellow. We've had him on the channel this year, and they provide educational scholarships. And one of the things, I've seen him do great work. I mean, I've been at lunch with him and seen him get up from our table, go to another table, see a disabled veteran, and say, your kid's college is paid for. And most recently, so I don't know if you guys know, but F-16 went down in Michigan. Wisconsin Air National Guard F-16 went down not too long ago, right before Christmas. And he left behind 2 very young children and a wife. And one of my friends who might be watching this, Deuce, he's been on the channel. He's the one at the end that always says, rule number 1, don't be a douche. I mean, it was devastating for the squadron, and that was his squadron. And so I reached out and I said, what can we do? And he said, you've got contact with Folds. Can you please make that connection? So I did. and they were on top of it the next day. I mean, just within hours, they were basically. They said the kids they don't just do college scholarships. They do kindergarten, elementary school, K through 12. They do educational scholarships for children of all ages. So um, it's really awesome. It's a really good cause. I very much support. And through this channel, we've been able to raise just short of $45,000 this year. I mean, that is amazing. That's 9 scholarships. Um, I'm floored. So we've done it a couple ways. The first one, when 2020 first started, everybody was locked down. Eagle Dynamics, the guys that make DCS, Digital Combat Simulator, Wags came to me and he said, "Hey, we're doing this promo code. We can use the Mover promo code, and we'll donate or we'll give you a percentage of the sales." And I said, "Well, I don't want the sales. Can we donate it to Folds of Honor?" And he said, "Absolutely, we'd love to do that." So we raised in that alone $9,000, just over 9,000. I think it was 9,300. So it was amazing. And then we did the tournament, and the tournament we raised, I think it was 14,000. I don't know the exact numbers between the live stream. I think it was about 2,500 in entries, and then another almost 10,000 in just the live stream donations from the live stream itself. And then from the live stream on, we had multiple donations, and even the company that Heron Systems that has Falco, they made a donation as well. So that was a huge thing. And then every video, I don't know if you've ever seen, but every video I do ends up with this donation button. So I started a campaign, and that's how the donations happen. They go through YouTube, and they go through giving and all that, Givergy, I think. And so grand total between those donations and everything we've done, it was around $43,000. So hopefully, I mean, maybe we'll get another $2,000 here before the end of the year, but at 9 scholarships, I mean, it's just awesome. So thank you so much. I mean, you guys are awesome. That is in such a terrible time in 2020, when things are going so wrong, people have come together to support a worthy cause. And I just think it's awesome that you guys have done that. So thank you so much. Moving on, stuff that's going great for the channel. Obviously, the growth's been good. Part of the reason for the growth, Mover Ruins Movies, Mover Ruins Gaming, Battlefield, that's got 6.1 million views. It's the most popular video I've ever done, which is funny because I did it on a Sunday afternoon, not thinking much of it. That's been awesome. I loved it. It is a frustrating thing because, and that's why, you kind of see it sporadic, because especially when you talk about movies, the copyright system of YouTube is just all over the place. So sometimes you get a lot of support from the creator. Believe it or not, the 2 Asylum films I did, Top Gunner and that Atlantic Rim, those are approved immediately. Like, there's no kickback, there's nothing, they approve it, good to go. Some of the other films, like the one, the Harrison Ford one with the president, the Air Force one, that was a fight. And it was some foreign third-party copyright company that, I ended up getting a copyright strike, and having to fight that. I got that removed, but sometimes it does take a while for these videos to do. So it's kind of been back burner, but they are coming back, and there'll be plenty of them in 2021. So that's been awesome. We've also had live interviews, and that's been you've noticed lately I've been doing the clips because there's just so much gold. I'm still doing Shoes clips. There's going to be a couple more videos from Shoes, the interview with Shoes, because he's just awesome. That was amazing. But all the awesome people we've interviewed to tell their story of overcoming adversity. Gono, you saw Gono when the channel first started, teaching me how to land a T-38, and then we got him on the channel. We find out, he overcame so much as a child in Puerto Rico, not having any means to really fly, to go into Embry-Riddle and getting his pilot's license, and then he didn't even get a pilot slot. He overcame. He did an active duty crossover board and became a fighter pilot. He flew the F-15, and now he's going to share with us here in not too long his centrifuge experience, because he just went back. His story isn't even over yet. He just went back. He's leaving us in a T-38. And he's going to fly the F-16, which I think is amazing. I'm so happy for him. He's such a good dude. I hope to get him back on the channel just to hear what he thinks of the Viper. But he does want to show and share with us his centrifuge video, because he had to go do the 9G profile, which I think is absolutely astounding. So we've done some great interviews. Noonan was on the channel. You know, we had Bio. Bio is a Tomcat Rio. He did a great book, which I'm going to do some clips from that. F-22 pilots. We've had other F-16 guys. T-Bear, I'm going to try to get him back on the channel. A-10, stuff like that. But just awesome, awesome interview. So it's not without, you know, it's the good side. You know, looking back, before the lockdown, we got that last 01 track video, which that was a lot of fun. I love driving that car, and there'll be more of that in 2021 with the new channel. So it won't be on this channel anymore. It'll be on the new channel. You know, and then we went into lockdown, and it was just a matter of getting everything, you know, getting what content we could. So content actually went up as well. So that led into helicopter lessons, which is funny because the helicopter videos themselves were not that popular. They didn't do all that well, you know, compared to everything else. But the why I quit flying the helicopter video was the best video of the series. In fact, it had more views than all the other videos combined, which is a shame because Lester is an awesome instructor. Lester is a great human being, and it was awesome training with him. So what happened with that, and here's the way forward for those of you that keep asking. Lester is doing well. He's back flying. That helicopter, last I heard, 178 Sierra Hotel is for sale because it's timed out. It's pretty close. So it's not available for training anymore or anything like that. I don't know. He's flying still with his sheriff. You know, he always had his sheriff thing. And I know he's flying fixed wing. So, but he is doing better, and things are going well for him. So, as far as the helicopter stuff, I was trying to do it through the GI Bill, and I had found a school out near Houston that would use the GI Bill, and I was going to go straight to the commercial because I can do that. I don't need to do a private. But one thing I'll get to, so some things changed with my squadron on my military reserve side. So I don't know when I'm going to have time to go out there for the 20 or 25 days it's going to take to do it. So that's up in the air. I don't know when I'll get to finish the helicopter stuff, but it is what it is. You know, it's kind of low. Unfortunately, it's low on the priority list because other stuff's going on. So that led into the other more popular video, which was the truck purchase failure. God, what a disaster that was. So stuff like that will go on the new channel, but the truck purchase, man, I never heard back from anybody, from GM, from GMC, from the dealership. I take that back. I did hear from the dealership. I got a call from their, like, I don't know, the internet lead specialist or whatever. She calls and she goes, "Hey, I was wondering if you were still looking for a truck." And I said, "You know who you just called, right?" "Well, no, I'm just calling to follow up to see if you were still in the market." And no kidding, I got, and this is probably, you know, everybody says, well, they left bad reviews on Yelp and Google and all that stuff, which was hilarious and awesome to see. But I never ask anybody to do that. I don't recommend trolling Google reviews, but the they actually sent me the coveted dealer satisfaction survey, the one that you get when you actually purchase a vehicle, you know, and if you're not completely satisfied, they tell you don't fill it out because it goes negatively against the dealership. They, no kidding, yeah, they sent me that. So that's the only thing, and I put in the comments exactly what happened, you know. So Yeah, I filled it out honestly. But so that's behind us. Didn't get a truck. Not going to get a truck. I've actually got a purchase planned. I've already put down a deposit and made an order. In fact, I I put a request on both Twitter and my Facebook page, facebook.com/CWLemoyne, and found somebody who knows some people at the factory in Michigan, and hopefully we're going to get this built. I will tell you that. See, what can I say? I will say that it's something you can say like Tomcat, and you can say it a lot, and it's fast, but also practical. So that's all I'll say about that. That will be on the new channel. All the car stuff will be on the new channel, including the thing that sounds like Tomcat. All right, what else we got? I got notes here. Squadron defunded. Yeah, so I talked about this before. I thought my squadron was defunded. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't think anybody knows what's going to happen. As you may know, my T-38 job was going away. In fact, there was an article that said that the whole T-38 program was going to be replaced by the adversary air ATAC. But that is not necessarily true yet. It is going to eventually go away. It may transition to the F-35. I don't know. But the job search is still on. I'm still trying to find a reserve gig, which is why the helicopter thing is so much in the air, because next year, chances are I may be transitioning to a new airframe, hopefully, and finding a new Air Force Reserve fighter gig. But I don't know. I don't know. I know it's going to be tough to do, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, a Bobcat would be awesome. Quick question. Did you get to wear golden wings in the Navy, or did you wear silver? I wore wings of gold. I got Navy flight orders and gold wings. Okay, so what's ahead for 2021? Looking at my notes, because I read straight from the teleprompter. So we talked about the new purchase of the vehicle. So may add a track car to that too, but not sure on that. Probably not. We'll see. But there will be track day vlogs. So all that's going to be on the new channel. Dogs will be on the new channel. Writing. People have asked, what's the status of the writing? God, it is hard to write. I know at the end of last year, I said I was going to write 2 books. I went back. You know, it's always awkward when you go back and you look at what's ahead for 2020 at that point. And I said, oh yeah, I want to put out 2 books, and you know, I'm going to do more of this and more of that. No, none of those plans happened. I am still working on 1 book. I just started chapter 50, and I think it's probably going to have 60, 65. I'm going to say 69 chapters. So it's got a little bit to go, and it's just been a lot going on. So it is delayed, but hopefully, I'm still hoping for spring of 21 to get that new book out. We will do more interviews. There's a lot of people to interview, a lot of cool fighter pilots. I want to get more. We do have another 80s fighter pilot, which is going to be awesome. He's got a book. He flew F4s and then A10s. So, and it's just cool. I mean, as a fighter pilot, I love hearing about the way they did things back in the 70s and 80s, because that's the golden era of the fighter jet community. I mean, just awesome. I mean, you listen to Shoes' stories, that's just amazing. So let's see, what else? We'll do some more DCS videos. Again, that'll be this channel. I really like the Flanker and the May 29, so that's probably some stuff we'll do. We'll get into some general aviation. So that was the other thing last year. I said I was going to buy an airplane and failed miserably. I never could figure out the mission, and hangar space is limited here. I still don't really know what the mission is. I don't know. You know, an RV-8's cool. I mean, but how many times am I going to do aerobatics? I'd rather something that can haul the dogs, but never could really nail down something to do. And then we got into the helicopter stuff, but we'll do some GA. There's a FBO here that's got like a Mooney that I could go rent, and that might be fun content just to go fly somewhere, you know, go hang out with Gonky or something, do a $100 hamburger and just fly around. I have done a video, Kevin, with Mentor Pilot. Actually, there's an interview on his channel with me. Yep, be finding a new squadron, so don't know what's going to happen with that. And then more Mover Ruins movies. And that is it. That's 2021. I hope it's not worse than 2020. That's my only hope. Oh, Racing League. Thanks, Glenn. Jeez, I'm sorry about that. It's coming back. I need to basically, so the Racing League got shelved as soon as I got the helicopter stuff, because it's just too much of a pain to move everything from, it's like collecting dust back there, to set everything up. But yes, the Racing League is going to come back because I want to do the C8R, but that'll be on the new channel. So video game stuff on the new channel would be Grand Theft Auto 5 LSPDFR, which I have not done a video in 2020 at all on that, partly because they updated it to LSPDFR 0.4, and I have no idea how to get that thing working. Every time I try, it crashes. So I wanted to get 5PD going and get multiplayer with like Doug and Ray, but I still can't figure out how to make the thing work. So once we get that figured out, that'll go on the new channel. iRacing will go on the new channel. Also Twitch, which that's twitch.tv/movercwl if you want to follow me on Twitch, which I don't do enough Twitch stuff, but yeah, that's going to be awesome. A good question. But yes, we should return. We'll probably just start a new season in January at some point. It's Life with Mover. Hold on. Let me see here. What do we got here? How do I uh-oh. Oh, I didn't want to do that. I'm going to get the link for you guy. Mover. The guy right here. 227. Look at that. 227 subscribers. You guys can't see it. I'm trying to do it. And I'm going to put this in the chat right. Meow. Do I think I can get... All right, so now it is time for your questions. Have you thought about joining a 5M community for Leo stuff? Yeah, that'd be awesome. Are you going back to the airlines this year? Jordan, thank you for the super chat. Don't know. I'm not furloughed, but I did put in for another leave of absence. So if I get that, then no. If I don't, then I'll probably go back in March or April. Think you can get F-35 or F-22 orders? F-22, no. There's no way for the F-22. But the F-35 is possible. Not very possible because, you know, like I just applied to a unit and, you know, not being current and qualified in a 4th gen fighter is not helpful. That's really what they look for, but it is possible. Is the Top Gun movie premiere fundraiser still on? Perhaps when COVID ends? Yeah, Victor, I hope so. I don't know. We've shelved it. I've been working with Folds. We're trying to find a COVID-friendly way, like a drive-in movie theater or something like that. But honestly, I don't know. I don't know. That has been shelved because they keep moving the release date. And I wouldn't be surprised if they move it again. Can you still be a fighter pilot? Well, I am a fighter pilot, so yes, I can. What airframe would you want to fly in your squadron after the T-38 goes away? F-16 or F-35? A-10 too. A-10 would be awesome. All right, T-Wolf Jaeger. Thanks, Mover. Been linking your channel to my troops for a while. That's awesome. Thank you. 2 of them putting packages together with the goal of becoming pilots. Thank you for Make Them Tell You No, and maybe do a Mover Ruins Project Wingman sometime. Yeah, people have asked about that. I'm sure we'll do that. Top Gun 2 hype. Yes, thank you, Flyboy Games. Oh, yes! Thanks, Bill. The Falco F Folds of Honor Tournament Champion match happened. Yes, of course. I forgot to add, you know, I thought I should have put that in there. So what happened with that, Sung Ho, who won the last year, he's the back-to-back world champion. He lives in South Korea. So the latency with their server they're on the eastern seaboard somewhere, Virginia, I think. The latency was too much that they could not get connected. So they have been trying to figure out a way to connect with them. And I got an email last week saying that they had, and now they're just waiting to schedule it. So once they get it scheduled, that'll go on this channel. I'll make the announcement. It'll be awesome. We'll hopefully get to view that and watch it because I'm curious to see how he does versus Falco as well. Um, Brian asks, what is the craziest thing you've ever tried or would like to try in DCS that you would never do in real life? Well, just recently I ripped the wings off of a flanker trying to do the Cobra, and I probably wouldn't do that at that speed, not knowing how to read kilometers per hour, also at 100 feet. So there you go. Have you tried War Thunder? No. No, I have not. Are you applying to the 99th Reconnaissance Squadron and flying the U-2? No, I am not. Flat Earthers. No, 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 no. Yeah, the Flat Earther thing. That chemtrail video is the one that's like the bane of my existence. Those comments, I still see people. God, they're worse than the Flat Earthers. I know you never landed or taken off the carrier yourself, but have you ever taken a cat shot or landed as a passenger? I've landed as a passenger. It was in the COD C2, sitting backwards. All right, Fly High says, I'm an airline pilot with 4,500 hours applying to UPT fighter boards. Could my experience level be a negative aspect of my application? Maybe. The thing is, you have to be willing to unlearn a lot of stuff. I mean, you're gonna have a leg up for basic flying, especially instrument flying. But dude, airline flying is nothing like flying a fighter. I mean, it's not. And especially flying in a crew, they're gonna want that single seat mentality. As far as boards go, yeah, they'll probably do well. It's just you're gonna have to show up because you're gonna have more hours than every first assignment IP or FAPE. You're gonna have more hours than all those people, so you're gonna have to show up with a humble attitude and yes sir, no ma'am, yes ma'am, all that stuff because they're right and you're wrong. That's just, I mean, unless it's safety of flight, then speak up and do something. But otherwise, be a sponge and learn because that's how you get yourself in trouble. All right, let's see here. Saf Broface Virtus. Hawaii Air Guard got a bunch of F-22s if you like those and probably has a pretty nice base with Pearl Harbor right next to it. Yeah, they're pretty selective. F-22 is just not an option. Not at this point in my career. Lynn asks, how are Luna and the boys getting along? So, like I said, she's a foster. We do have the option to adopt. Probably not. The boys are, I mean, so they're, Kaiser's going to be 10 in February. He's 9 years old. Sniper's 11. They are set in their ways. And I was surprised. I thought Kaiser would be the one that was like her and Sniper would not. And it's the other way around. Sniper doesn't care. He's just indifferent. And Kaiser hates her, just absolutely hates her guts. So I don't want to upset the balance of the pack. So she probably will go, even though I love her to death. I think she's adorable. She's cute. She's a smart dog, 10-week-old puppy, but beautiful, beautiful old dog. And it breaks my heart to have to bring her back. But she is at a good place. It's not a shelter, it's a rescue that is also a doggy daycare. And she's going to be back with her litter mates. So she's going to get adopted like immediately. I mean, probably tomorrow as soon as I drop her off, but it's awesome. All right. Let's see. Hi, Mover. What's your opinion on when the airline industry will go back to what it used to be prior to COVID? Ooh, if it ever does. 2020, I mean, it's going to be tough because in order for it to go back to what it was prior to COVID, you have to open up all the countries, which I don't think that's going to happen in 2021, even with a vaccine. You have to get the economy going again, which I think is going to be tough to do with as much debt as we have. And the new administration in the United States, I think they're not going to be economically friendly to business. And I think you're not going to have the boom that you saw in the last couple of years. I think it's going to be a while. I mean, 2025, maybe 2024 at best, if it ever comes back. I mean, it may, things permanently change, where wide bodies go away and the wide body flying gets replaced by, the A321, because they're talking about doing some across the pond stuff with that Neo. But it's going to be a while. I think, it's probably wouldn't expect it anytime soon. What was your favorite helo to fly this year? I love flying the OH-58. You know, when we did that cross country, that was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed going to hanging out with Brandon, Stephanie, and going to Gulfport. Sorry, Gulf Shores. We took off from Gulfport and then going to Panama City. I really enjoyed that. Oh, thanks, Plane Rapper. I am no. So Cosmic Lizard says It's an i9 9900. You're asking what hardware I have. So I'm using a Reverb G2 um, and a 2080 Ti and a 9900K and 64 gigs of 3600 RAM, and then it's on an NVMe SSD. Let's see. What else we got? Yeah, what else we got? Who else? Have you ever considered working for a space program? I'm not an engineer. Those dudes want engineers, not just guys who like to fly. Can I adopt all the boys you can have, Luna? They'd probably like that. Hear anything from Gonki? I talked to him today. He's still out. If you see him in a terminal, go say hi. He's flying his airline gig. Let's see. I have Microsoft Flight Sim. I've done a couple videos, two exactly. One non-VR, one with VR. I don't think it's prime time ready yet, at least not on my system. I know people. In fact, I got an email from Thud on how to optimize it, which I very much appreciated. However, my opinion is for an off-the-shelf simulator like Microsoft Flight Sim and a Reverb G2 and a 2080 Ti, I should be able to hit default settings, optimized for VR, because that's what it says, and it should work. Should not have 15 to 20 frames per second. It was just like a Polaroid. It was awful, terrible, like a PowerPoint slide. Pachu says, were you furloughed? And if so, are you planning on flying with a different company? I am not furloughed. I've never been furloughed. Quinn says, had an accident recently just before taking AFOQT. Will the new screws and hardware and shoulder hold back my dreams of being a fighter pilot? Make them tell you no. I don't give medical advice. I don't know anything. That is way smarter than me. There's a waiver guide. I put them on the website, makethemtellyouno.com. I don't know if the link still works, but if not, go to the Make Them Tell You No Facebook group. That still exists, is which we started this year. That's another good thing that happened. But all you can do is apply. I mean, they'll either tell you, hey, no way, or they'll give you a waiver. But it doesn't matter. You apply anyway. It doesn't cost you anything. Let's see. Thank you from Sapa Tamaluco. Cheers from your Brazilian fans abroad. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. John, good day, mover. Just joined the live chat. I'm stuck in the mindset. Aviate, communicate, navigate. Aviate, navigate, communicate. Correct turning, stall, power off, ailerons, wings, level, rudder opposite, nose down. Gee, that's a lot of stuff. Could you post a video on how you create your VR DCS videos? I'd like to know how you get the aspect ratio correct. Sure, but I'm the worst person. You see how much audio problems I have every time we do this? You guys. Let's see. Some former pilots in the F-104 would be cool as well. Man, it's getting harder to find pilots from, that generation. It really is. I mean, it's really tough to find fighter pilots. F-35, we see, dude, Alabama is only hiring for the F-35. I'll be honest. There's a couple reasons I'm a tough sell. One, I have been out of a fighter with a radar for a while. I mean, 2016. That's a long time in fighter years. Two, I'm a major. I've got 15 years left, but it's mid-time. A lot of units don't want to invest in that. And three, well, you're looking at it. I mean, a lot of Guard Reserve units shy away from a large social media footprint. So for better or worse, whether they're right or wrong, I don't know, but it's a lot tougher with this level of reach than if I were just a, instructor pilot in an F-16 looking for a job. I'm not as marketable as I could be. So it's tough. I hope I can find a job next year or the year after, but I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. Andre says, missed my chance to join the Brazilian Air Force. Built my career in a major airline, but still dreaming to fly a fighter once. Hope that one day comes true. Yeah. There's plenty of ways to do that. You can rent experiences and stuff. I mean, it sounds awesome. Which is better, F-35A or B? God, the B sucks. I mean, technology-wise, they're great, but the B is what ruined that airframe. The Marines and the Brits insistent on VTOL. Just, that's the most frustrating thing. What movie are you doing next? Hot Shots is on the list. How is Backseat Bo doing these days? He's great. He's a detective. So he's detecting things. Contact me if you think Gonky would like a F-18 model in River Rattler's cutout. Oh, yeah. Okay, Mark, thank you. And by the way, thank you. You see can you see that back there? I don't know if you, I got the zoom blur. I don't know how to do this, man. This is backwards. There we go. You got to be 10% smarter than what you're doing. There's Mark's, how you doing? Mako Jet. And I found that on eBay. Check this out. I've been looking for one of these, the exact color and everything of my 01. That's cool. Very excited about that. Very excited. Okay, back to your questions. Oh, Kinsal, thank you for your best to you as well, and Happy New Year. What are your thoughts on the Eurofighter Typhoon? I think it's awesome. Great. Did you like flying fighters in the Air Force or Navy better? So I flew, it's different. You know, I think that I love flying the Hornet and I love doing red air in the Hornet. I really enjoyed being in the F-16, going to combat, being, you know, current on tactics and all that stuff. It's hard to compare, but, you know, I loved them both for very different reasons. I enjoy learning from experienced people, especially from the military. Aerospace is my favorite. Well, thank you, Prime Pro Visual. Have an interest in being a demo pilot? Yes, but I would have to be current in whatever they're flying and probably active duty and probably a captain. They don't usually take old guys like me. But that would be awesome. Let's see. How do waivers work, particularly with asthma? If I'm capable of physical requirements, will it matter? They will work that for you. You just show up and they say, you have this condition. We'll put you in for a waiver, or it's non-waiverable, sorry. I mean, it's all done for you. Toakan says, New Orleans Saints fan? I used to be, but I am not an NFL fan anymore. Yeah, the depth of field thing is a NVIDIA broadcast thing that happens with the RTX. I think it's awesome. Thoughts on Tom Cruise actually flying an F-18 off a carrier for Top Gun Maverick? Well, he sat in the back seat. He didn't fly anything at all. They didn't even have a stick installed, so there's that. Why is the B bad? You know why the B is bad. VTOL. That's why the B is bad. I've noticed Russia always a comeback aircraft. We make the F-15, they make the MiG-29, we make the F-22, they make the Su-57. Have you ever seen a Su-57 like in any squadron? Last I saw, they were just test aircraft. I mean, the F-22's been around for a while. Would you consider joining a display team? Sure. Do you and Neil still ride together? That's a good question because that was a part of the channel early on, and I haven't done any more law enforcement videos. But Yes, we do. He just had a baby. Congratulations to Neil. Another one, his second. Little baby girl. And so he has not been riding, but if we do, and if I can ever get permission to do law enforcement vlogs, that'll be on the other channel, which is pinned. Tronzoid says, Tomcats. Little Mover. Ark says, have a great new year. Grumpy Vet, man. Dude, I think it's awesome that Ark does. I watched his review of the Top Gun toys. That was amazing. That was awesome. I really enjoyed that. He's a great kid, and you've done so well. So kudos to you, man. Um, and I'm jealous of those toys because they both look awesome. I wish I had that when I was a kid. Any guess on when the next BRAC will be? That's a good question. BRAC is a base realignment and closure, and I don't think they've done one since 2003. So maybe 2023. Who knows? What about flying World War II aircraft? Yeah, I'd fly one. P-51 for show. If you had to go award again, would you rather take the Viper or the Hornet? I would take a Super Hornet. Plane Rapper. Hi from Sydney. Oh, that's what he followed up. Yep. Oh, the first Su-57 entered service. See, I learned things. Let's see. What else we got? Who else is there potential enemy fighters you think, damn, I hope I'll never have to fight that? No. I'm a fighter pilot, man. I'm not afraid of anything. Have you ever thought of connecting with the flight sim content people like DC Designs? No. Have you ever heard what was caused the F-16 that crashed from Wisconsin? We don't speculate. I've made a video about this, but until the Accident Investigation Board releases its findings, we're not going to speculate. I'm not going to talk about anything until the AIB report comes out, and then I'll do probably some kind of tribute slash video. And that's something I changed this year. We've done far too many of those. Lost some really good fighter pilots. But I am, in the future and in the last couple, going to try to spend more time honoring the fallen and paying tribute to those that lost their lives versus just reading the report. Did you ever hang with the Marines at Bellchase? I did. In fact, I flew the Cobra sim at Bellchase and crashed it. Do you have a connection with old warbirds? I do not. Favorite fighter? I love the Viper. Really love the Viper. I mean, I love the Hornet too, but I love the Viper. How long does it take for the AIB? I hate to say that, 6 to 9 months, but it's usually around the 6-month point. Some are sooner, some are less so. 2020 has been awful for accidents and mishaps and stuff. I mean, just terrible. What flame would you want to fly past present? After doing that DCS video, I'd like to fly a flanker. Boom or basket? I actually never needed to refuel in the Hornet because we didn't fly that long, but so I'm going to pass on that. Would you rather fly Airbus or Boeing? Well, I am supposed to, when I finally go back, I'm supposed to transition to the Airbus. Was not a fan. I was looking forward to flying the 7576. I was scheduled to go to training for that before COVID happened because it just looked, 75 is an awesome hot rod. The Airbus, more comfortable. So when I fly fatties, I want to be comfortable. I don't really care about anything else. I think Boeing hates pilots, and that stupid overhead panel is ridiculous. Especially the circuit breakers behind you, so you can't move the seat all the way back or recline it. It's just dumb. Did you ever make it out to Hill Air Force Base? All the time. I used to love doing depot runs. So we'd pick up the jets from the depot and fly them back or bring them to the depot. That's always what I always did. I loved going to Hill. Have you ever thought about joining a flying club? No. It's usually like Cessnas, isn't it? I mean, do they have any flying clubs that like fly something cool? Do you think you and Ray will ever do an in-person video? Yeah, sure. He's got his, he actually has a Corvette as well. He has a C601. What are your thoughts on the Apache? I am the greatest. Firebirds is an awesome movie. That's on the list too. I've got Jolly Pilot. We're gonna do Firebirds. Ever plan on organizing some community events for DCS other than Folds of Honor? What does that mean? Have you ever considered voice acting? No. I don't think anybody wants me to voice act. I won't even do my own audiobooks. And it's funny, Noonan, when I was talking to him about his book, which you should pick it up, Fly Into the Wind, he did his own reading for his audiobook. It's crazy. I could never do that. Do you think Sear has changed much since you went through it? Probably. Did I have a good experience? No. Do you have opinions on the bone? No, although it's cool to put afterburners on something like that. They're fast. Is transitioning into the Guard from active duty easier or harder than trying to directly commission into a unit? I'd say it's easier. I mean, you're already current qualified, so it's probably easier. Why does Boeing do that to the cockpit? A shareholder, and I don't understand. It's like they cannot advance. I know why. For the 737, it's because of Southwest Airlines and their refusal to adapt. They wanted to keep that. They're so obsessed with minimizing training costs and having a common type rating. That's why we got the MAX. Because, it had to be a common type rating. We can't tell you all the different things and MCAS and all that stuff. So, I mean, it's about money. About, they wanted to keep everything common, and common from, 1950 707s. There you go. You should get Jocko to do this. You guys act like I know these people. I don't know Jocko. Thoughts on Lockheed buying Rocketdyne? I actually don't know anything about that. Sounds good. Is that bad? Do you plan on doing more videos with the sheriff's helicopter? Yes. As many times as they'll have me. Yes. Is the Dos Gringos song J-Dam Blues accurate? Did J-Dam ruin the fun? I don't think so. I mean, I always enjoyed dropping anything and making it go boom. But yeah, I don't know. Have you ever considered stand-up comedy? You have great timing. Probably not. No, I'd probably just stand there and I don't know what to do with my hands. I'm scared right now. Let's see. Have you ever met Kelsey 7-4 Gear? No. Bought and read the SPECTRE series. Enjoyed them all. Have a great new year. Thanks, Jeff. Is that a Corvette? What kind of vet is that, dude? Did you see there's soon to be a fundraiser for the restoration of an F-14B for demo purposes? Ooh, that sounds awesome. Tomcats. I'm 13 and I've been considering joining the Air Force. Do it. How come you never did boat stuff? Aha! I will on the new channel. That's another thing. Pontoon boat up the Chifuncta River. Are you going to go back to helo training? We talked about that earlier, but it remains to be seen. Also talked about the Folds of Honor DCS winner. Stand by. It's going to be announced. What do you do on a long mission if you suddenly get the urge to take a huge dump? Sucks for you. If you can't land, you got to figure it out. I've known people to use lunch pails, helmet bags. What's your favorite Air Force base you were stationed at? Well, I've only ever been at Homestead. Well, Luke. I liked Luke, but New Orleans was my favorite because it was my hometown. I mean, there was nothing cooler than coming back from a mission, flying down the causeway, flying over my house, flying down the causeway, doing a lap around the French Quarter and the Superdome, and then coming up for the carrier break at 400 knots and landing. I mean, that's my city. You're like, this is my city. This is everything I've ever dreamed of since I was a little kid. Well, nobody wants to see a pontoon boat. Well, then don't watch it. A Vermont Air National Guard pilot told me the F-35 is easier to fly than a Cessna 172 or Piper. Was this your experience with the Viper? Yeah, it had its moments. You know, landing could sometimes, you could get out of your groove and rhythm, but these fighters are made to inherently be easy to fly. $15. Should I try the United States Navy? Yeah. Should I try the United States Navy? Yes. Yeah. Try anything you want. Make them tell you no. Besides flying a good airplane, what are your military? Oh, this sounds like an interview. If you ended up in the Air Guard, would you want to be a fighter squadron commander or OG commander, end up as an 06? I have no aspirations for higher rank. 05 would be cool. 04 would be cool. I just want to fly. I honestly, what I wanted to do, there was a program where I'd applied for, which was to go to Luke, and you were going to go to 3 years of orders at Luke, flying the F-35 and teaching the B course. I'd applied to the F-16 at San Antonio, teaching the B course. I would love to teach at a B course level, you know, which B course is after pilot training where they show up or they're transitioning to brand new to learn the airframe. I think that would be awesome. That's what I would love to do. Squadron commander, yeah, maybe, but you know, I'd rather mentor on the flying side, but I'm not going to rule it out. It's just, I mean, I'm not a careerist. You know, I'm not one of those ones that wants rank. I'd rather just fly and be a good dude. Can fighter pilots smoke dope? Nope. Have any of your books been considered for a movie? Absolute Vengeance has once. It fell through, but yeah, it has happened. How do you like Edwards? I went once for the F-16 spin program. I thought it was cool that we could land out of an SFO, but it is out in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, Tomcat videos. Let's do it. Ever flown with the Aussies? Nope. That'd be cool though. Margot Robbie. I really appreciate you guys for that. Thank you. Are there any fighter jets that you didn't get to fly that you would have wanted to? Yeah, all of them. I mean, what do you think of the state of the world in the current year? Man, it's been a rough year, but you know what? It's almost over. Max G 9.8. That's the most I've ever experienced. I'm pursuing my dreams to be a fighter pilot. However, I don't know if I want to go into the Navy or Air Force. Well, do you like boats? Do you like gladiator movies? No, I'm sorry. Two different quotes. If you like boats and water, go to the Navy. If you like land, go to the Air Force, or apply to both. Take the one that picks you up. You ever think about teaching general aviation? No. You can smoke dope in DCS, and I think a lot of people do. Let's see. How does it feel to be in the same branch as Grand Thumb, and how embarrassing is it that as a nonner, he's cooler than you? Well, he's not a fighter pilot, so he's also a lieutenant. He can go make me popcorn. Come on. Come on. You gray out at 9.8 Gs? Oh, yeah, dude. That was all I could do to stay awake. That was not intentional at all. Fastest 0 to 60? Never clocked it. I'm sure the ZR1, though, I mean, it can do 3 or 2 something, but you'd have to hook. G limit on a Bear F-16, technically it's 9 Gs. You can go up to 9.3 without it being an over G. Do you have any interest in flying space planes? Sure. Did you ever try to get into the Blue Angles? No. Or the Blue Angels. Have you and Gonky gone 1v1 in real life? We have. Ever fly in the EU? Nope. You need to check out the 313 mile per hour Hennessy. Hennessy's such a bad company, though. Longest flight time, 7.6, I think. 7 something. Captain Dan says, enjoy your content. Keep the awesome videos going for 21. Thank you, Captain Dan. Would you fly electric aircraft? Ooh, no, I need jet noise. Where are you on purchasing your own aircraft? I don't know. Nowhere. How is life as an active duty pilot? It's long days, good flying. I mean, that's great, I guess. Have you ever broke a Viper or Hornet? Yeah, maintenance. I've apologized to maintenance quite a few times for breaking aircraft. Do you respond to emails? I try to. If I don't, sometimes I just put them straight in the mover mailbag, which I need to do one soon. Who won most of the time in fights against Gonky? Obviously, I did. If you go to his channel, he'll say he did. Would you be an astronaut? Yes, but I don't have an engineering or technical degree, so they won't hire me. Nope. Very good on Lockheed buying Rocketdyne. See, I'm not smart on it. I don't know anything about it. How hard and what to do to get a pilot slot? Do your homework. It's as easy as you make it. I mean, seriously, you have to take some initiative. I've made the frequently asked questions, makethemtellyouno.com. So if you want to go there, there's some stuff. There's also the Make Them Tell You No Facebook group. There's a lot of good information, but do your homework. Long days with good flying? Well, no, it's more like you show up, you mission plan, you brief, you fly like an hour, hour and a half, about hour and a half, and then you debrief for 4 or 5 hours. Then you've got your additional duties. So it's not all flying. Ever stalled the plane unintentionally? Sure. Yeah, what was it like saying to the ground crew that you went 9.8 Gs? Yeah, we went and we went back. So the maintenance supervisor had to come in, watch the tapes, and determine. They did frame by frame and only hit like 15 frames or something. So there was like just short of the limit before they had to pull panels. So they didn't technically have to do anything. More T-38 videos? No. Do you have to skydive in training? No, you parasail as part of your parachute training. You don't actually skydive. I've been skydiving once with the Golden Knights, but that had nothing to do with training. What happens if you're hired at a guard unit and wash out at UPT? Wouldn't you have already gone through OTS? Yep, you would have. So at that point, you can become an officer, maintenance officer, or whatever at your guard squadron, or you can get out. Usually they'll let you out altogether, depending on their manning. It would be interesting if you did an interview with someone on the space side. Okay. Yeah, I don't know them. Have you ever buzzed the tower like Maverick? Not like Maverick, but I did. One of the coolest things I got to do was to go back to Homestead in a Hornet. So I'd flown at Homestead in the F-16, then I went to New Orleans, and then I was cross country, and I went to Homestead in the Hornet, and the tower guys were there. And what's awesome about Homestead is because you sit what's called supervisor of flying, so you got to know everybody in the tower. And I checked in, and I knew the guys, and I requested. It was normally a right pattern away from the base, and I requested a left-hand carrier brake, and they approved it. And so it went like 800 feet right over the tower and right over the base, just making as much noise as possible. Lowest altitude you've ever been? The ground. Currently sitting at it right now. Hello, do you think your Reverb G2 makes any difference in your DCS flying experience? I absolutely do. The narrow field of view takes a little bit of getting used to, but the frame rates and the quality are just exponentially better. Do you think you could get General Goldfein or Scott O'Grady? Probably not. Those are famous people. Were you afraid the first time you jumped out of a plane? The only time I've jumped out of a plane? No, not really. I was amped up, a lot of hype, and then you do it, and you're like, this is it, nothing. If you were offered ownership of any one jet, including all maintenance and fuel, would you be willing to move into another country? Ooh, I don't know, man. So they give me a jet, but I have to train their people. That sounds like a book. Can I bring my dogs? That's the non-negotiable part. If I can bring the dogs, probably. Have you ever thought about being a test pilot? I've thought about it, but I'm not going to go back to school and go get a technical degree or a, engineering master's or something. Which is louder in the cockpit, Viper or Hornet? I think they're about the same. You wear earplugs, so you really don't notice. Are people envious of hog drivers? Sure. How are the doggos doing? They're doing great. They're not happy because of the current visitor, Luna, but they're doing great otherwise. I have to go work off the Corona pounds. PT test coming up in April. My question is, before I go, can you explain to me your internal thoughts and feelings before you went on your first combat sortie? Nervous, excited, just hoping I didn't screw up or do something stupid. Just trying. I mean, it's different. I mean, you training at a U.S. base, with U.S. systems and stuff is a lot different than going to a foreign land in a foreign country at a base that is, used to be the enemy. That's where their base was. And then, sleeping in a tent and then going out and flying. And my first combat mission was my first out of training. It was the first non-graded ride I ever did. So it was a little bit of a culture shock, but looking back, it was definitely, something I would go do again. All right. I'm currently a senior in high school, got accepted into college with an aviation program. Planning on getting ratings, but I also want to fly for the Air Force. Will the ratings and hours help? Yep. Do you get hearing damage from flying fighters? You're on the hearing conservation program. You're not supposed to. Yep, exactly. Currently on vacation down in Miami, Homestead. Recommend any restaurants, bars? Oh, man. What was the name of the marina? I don't know if it's still there. I forgot the name of it. That's where I used to go. Ever had to declare an emergency? Yep. Ooh, which has a more realistic flight model, DCS F-16 or F-18? I think the F-18 supposedly more sorted out at this point, but I don't know. I mean, from Jacob, hey mover, I'm a deputy here in Texas. Please be safe. But have always been interested in a career in aviation. Is it worth the career switch to military aviation, or is it possible to do both? Is it worth it? How old are you? It's definitely, I mean, if you're in your mid to late 20s, got your degree, hell yeah, do it. You can always come back and be a reserve deputy. If you're, mid to late 30s, probably not, but it depends. I mean, what are you passionate about? How do you want to best serve? Because you're serving right now, so how would you rather serve? Have you ever done training flights with other nations' pilots? Yeah, I've flown with the Canadians a lot. And we did a red flag, international red flag with the Brits. The Reef Club, is that what it's called? Freshman in high school would like to go to the Air Force Academy. What should I do to help my odds? Don't do drugs. Don't get in trouble. Play sports. Get good grades. Help others. Volunteer. You've done both, but if you had to pick one, pilot for the Air Force or the Navy? Air National Guard. By far. Premier One had to tell a commenter that the F-16 has a tailhook. He flew F-16s and they did not believe him. Yes, the F-16 has a tailhook. I've tested the tailhook. It works. Any good arrest stories? We'll save that for the new channel. I'll tell you the Shorn story. Stupidest thing you ever did in an airplane? Not today, FAA. Have you ever flown demonstrations in an air show? Nope. I've done a static display. Have you ever participated in wartime games? Yeah. Red flag. If you could do it again, would you change it, if anything? Yes. I would have stayed at Homestead another year and become an instructor pilot. I have missed out on so many opportunities by not finishing the IP upgrade in the F-16. I absolutely would have done that different. This credit card got a 12K limit. You willing to stay up? What the hell? Hey, Ted, good to hear you're coming back to iRacing. I did a paint scheme for you with your name on it. Oh, that's awesome. Thank you, Ted. I'm looking forward to it. I'm sorry I've been off the grid. I'll have to check in with you guys. Um, thanks, Jacob. Appreciate it. So it is the Ocean Reef Club. Thanks, Lynn. I got a new drone and I fly in Class D airspace, and now the FAA hates me. Well, stop that. What's the biggest event you did a flyover for? Ooh, that's a good one. There was the Folds of Honor Quick Trip 500 NASCAR event. That was awesome to do. I've done a lot of NASCAR events at Homestead. I've done one at Dover. I've done, Miami Dolphin games and all that stuff, but never really anything, bigger than that. Could you try and get some bomber pilots on the channel? Strike Eagle guys? Okay, I'll see if I can find one. No, I have not done any red flag videos. Have you ever flown with a bad hangover? No, I have not. Did you ever get to fly your dad in a fighter? No, but I did get to fly over him in a fighter, which was a really cool experience for me. Not like in combat or anything, it was just cool to do. Have you ever had spicy food before flying and regret your decision? Yes. Sadly, yes. What do you think is the most challenging phase of pilot training? Formation, probably. Especially in the T-38. But everybody has something different. Some people initial contact because they're not used to wearing all the stuff and having the helmet and the G suit, and they're just kind of overwhelmed. For some people, it's instruments because they're not used to the cross check and the scan. They haven't practiced. For some people, it's formation. I mean, it just depends. I've been following your channel since I saw the first DCS video. How do you feel about DCS now? I think it is fun. I think it's a good game. Sometimes the community can be a little rough, but I mean, look at the money we've raised for Folds of Honor with it. I mean, I can't knock that. Central Space Alliance, Mover, I'm 13, flown a 172 with an instructor. Any chance any of this will help me out? I also have good grades and student council president. Just curious if there's anything else I could do. No, man, you're doing great. Have you ever heard of Angry Cops or Donut Operator? Yes, I have, both of them. How many hours does an average fighter pilot in the Air National Guard fly per year? We don't really do it per hour. It's by sorties, but it's about the same as an active duty guy. Can you get Bio on your show again? I am going to clip the Bio interview because I have the video of him ejecting. How was your experience in the altitude hypoxia chamber? It was different. I mean, it wasn't a competition for me, so I didn't let the symptoms fully progress before I went oxygen 100%. Buy some books. We need Su-26. Yeah, you guys buy enough books, and I'll buy a damn flanker. Hell yeah. I hear you making lots of excuses as to why you can't go fly. Why can't I go fly what? I am making them tell you no. Definitely. I mean, it's not for lack of applying and interviewing. Will you get some fighter jets for FS 2020? I would like to do helicopters in FS 2020. I think that would be the best part of that game. What's your favorite tanker and why is it the KC-10? Because, first of all, they don't fly in the weather as much. And second, the engines are farther apart. It's so much better. I mean, it just is better. And it's so much better. Chris says, say hello. Big fan of all this year's videos. Good job. Hope to see more of your videos next year. Only one question. Which aircraft was your favorite to fly all time? I mean, it's a tie. F-16 and F-18. Why does the Air National Guard have A-10s? Why not? Have you heard of the United captain who owns a MiG-23? No. Really? Were you part of Desert Storm? How old do you think I am? In Desert Storm, I was 8. How long do you think fighter pilots will still be a thing? The rest of my career, probably, and the rest of anybody that's joining today's career as well. What do you think about UPT fast track programs where they were supposedly skipping 38s and just doing simulator stuff and then going to a B course? That is not, I don't know of it. The only thing I've ever heard of skipping is going straight to like the T1, skipping the T38, going straight to the B course. Yeah, you're right. There was like that T6 thing. I don't know. I mean, I, I don't think the answer is ever less training, and I don't think that that's a bad. I don't think that's the way to go. I think that what we need is more quality, not quantity. From another author, I'm considering self-publishing. I'm fairly highly rated in some alternate internet media. Just curious if it's worth the money. How many ebooks have you sold? Ooh, I don't know. It's a good question. I actually don't know. I haven't looked. I mean, I'm doing well, but I don't know. Probably get a lot of friend requests on iRacing, so you aren't accepting requests, but I just started following you on there. Would love to race you sometime. What's your vehicle of choice? Well, join the, wait, what's the name of our, Mover Ruins Racing. Join my racing league. You can race with me all the time. You a fan of air racing? Not really. 3, 2, 1, fights on. It's a countdown. That's how the Navy starts a beam set. What do you think of the new T7 Red Hawk? I have no opinion. Oh, Fulcrum time soon. Did you receive pedal packs for Christmas? No. Which would you like more, being a pilot in World War I, World War II, Vietnam, or modern days? I would pick the 80s. Thanks, Brian. Have you ever driven a Tesla? No. What discipline do you run? We do oval and road course. I'm terrible at road courses, which is funny because I'm better at road courses in real life. But DCS, I'm more of a oval type. What sidearm do you carry on duty? Glock 17. When you go full mill to lighting the candles, does the engine spool up more? Do they say the same? You do get more RPM, but it's the nozzle swinging is the biggest thing that you look at. It's because the nozzles close when you go to mill, and then they open back up as the afterburner lights. What console is DCS available on? The PC. Have you ever flown with the Canadians? Yes, a lot. They used to come down. I forgot what we called it. They used to come down to Homestead every year, and we'd BFM or do DCA, or we do all kind of different stuff with them. Awesome people. Very fun to fly with. Hal says, like your channel a lot. What's the fastest you've been? Mach 1.86, 800 knots, which people get confused about that. Mach number changes with altitude. So 800 knots at whatever altitude, 30 something thousand feet I was at, was 1.86. So I hit the limit. Did Top Gun influence any career choices? Absolutely. I love Top Gun. Wanted to be a fighter pilot because of it. In the Air Guard, should you expect to be deployed? Yes. Is there anything I can do as a teenager? All right, Greg, what was your scariest flight in a fighter? Maybe besides the lightning strike? Lightning strike wasn't all that scary, other than when I thought I was going to watch him run into the dirt, which he sent me a text for Christmas. He's doing well. Happy to hear from him. But scariest flight, I don't know. I'd have to think about that. I'd have to pass on that. Fastest you've been in a car, like 186 or 180 something? If you went Air Force enlisted, what job would you want? Oh man, if I liked running, I would do like TAC P or something cool like that, but like a PJ job. But since I hate running, probably like Intel or something. Do you have to file flight plans in a fighter? Yes. Well, they're filed for you. We do what's called stereo routes, which are normal pre-planned routes. So you're like, hey, I'm going to be on the VPS whatever, and you just file that. But if you go cross country, yeah, you have to file a flight plan. It's a DD-175. Is it bad to hot start a jet engine? Yes. So you're not in the Mach 3 club? Shave with a Mach 3. Have you ever had an engine backfire, like a compressor stall? Yeah. Yes, we talked about the helo plans. F-16, F-18, or vet? I mean, that's like comparing ice cream to pizza. Just two different things. What are some of the additional jobs fighter pilots have to do in their squadrons? You can be working in scheduling, so putting out the daily schedule. You can be working in training, making sure everybody's up to date on their quals and their upgrades and stuff. You can be doing standards and evaluations, which are check rides. You could be a flight commander, so you're writing performance reports for the people and making sure their leave's done and kind of taking care of the pilots in the squadron. You can be in charge of life support, which are the people that do all your gear, parachute. Well, for us it's a parachute, but other aircraft it's just the harness, the G suit, the helmet, all that stuff. Whole lot of stuff. Homestead is a city in Florida. How I got my call sign, go to my very first video or go to the call sign video. But my very first video, I talked about how I got my call sign. Have you ever been shot out of an aircraft in an emergency? No. Ooh, redheads, blondes, or brunettes? Blondes. Oh, realistically? Aircraft you want to purchase realistically in the future? No, nothing realistically. Do you like MMA? Watching it? No. Doing it? I like Krav Maga. How many Corvettes have you owned? A bunch. A 94, an 02, an 09, an 11, a 15, and the 19. There might be one I'm missing. It's like 6 or 7. How did you like Al Assad? Tony retracted his message. I never went to Al Assad. Do you like the NFL? No. Fake blonde's fine too. Art thou great? I art great. Have you ever gotten to fly alongside any bombers? No, actually. I mean, I've flown in the same mission, but I've never like rejoined on any bombers. My 15-year-old daughter is a straight A honor student, so when we watch your video, she would like Air Force Academy or ROTC. Any other advice for her to help her with her fighter pilot dreams? Sounds like she's doing a great job. I mean, both of those options are really good. I would say make sure she keeps her grades up, stays in sports or some kind of athletic thing, and continues to do well. Volunteer work helps, anything to stand out. And, if she can take some pilot lessons, that would help. But if she goes to the academy, not really necessary. But do you think Canada needs to replace the scrap F-18? No. My second super chat. Bring on your pooches and say, hey, Katie. Kaiser! Sniper! I don't know if they'll come in. They're pretty pissed off right now because we're fostering the puppy and she's been whining. 15-year-old aspiring pilot, Landon. Go to makethemtellyouno.com. Go start studying. That's what you need to do. You need to start doing your homework. What's up with the Top Gun 2 stuff? I don't know. I don't work with them. Kaiser! Sniper! But I know how to get them in here. Yeah, see? It always works. Come here. Come here. Say hi, Katie. You gotta say hi, Katie. You want more? You're blurred out by the feature. Sniper's down here too. Hey, bud. You're too short. You got to say hi, Katie. As far as Top Gun 2, I don't know. It depends on Rona, and it depends on kind of what's going on. Why didn't you call them Fox 1 and Fox 2? That's funny. You want to be Fox 1? You'd be Fox 2, huh? Yeah. Why do Russian military aircraft constantly harass our warships and continue entering American airspace? Are they entering American airspace? Just give me my food, Homan. What kind of dogs are those? So they this is yeah, he's like a shepherd mix. I don't know. They're both rescue mutts. Can you say hi to Luna? If I go get Luna, she will wiggle and I will not be able to answer any more of your questions. She will probably whine. Your pug loves me? That's amazing. Should I go to ROTC in college and then go into Guard Reserve or go to OCS after the fact? ROTC is your best shot. Would 2030 vision work for an F-16 pilot as long as it is correctable to 2020? Do you want another one for your services, sir? That's your fee? You have an appearance fee? There you go. There you go. I retired from a full career in law enforcement right at the start of COVID lockdown and just before civil unrest. I started to feel mildly depressed. Much better now, and your channel helped with it. Just want to say thanks. Thanks, Chris. Dude, it sucked this year. I mean, we have been targeted as in law enforcement for whatever political nonsense that's going on. It's been terrible. Flaps up and flaps down. That's awesome. Do you think Russians are good pilots? Yeah, sure do. How well does AC and jets work in humidity? It works. It's just you'll get water blown on you, so to speak. I'm a 17-year-old and like to fly fighters for the Navy or the Air Force. Is Sea Cadets a good option? I mean, it probably looks good on the resume. I'm not going to say no, but yeah. Do the doggies get in the pool? No. In fact, Kaiser, who was just stealing the treats, when he had his CCL repair, the vet said, hey, get him in the pool. That'll help with recovery. So he peed on me in the pool. He hated it. It scared the hell out of him. What breed? They're both mutts. Can you smell farts in the F-16 cockpit? Yes. Get my PME done? No. No. Did you base Cal Martin off of your own personality? No. Just a fictional character. Whole book's fiction. It's Meshla Schlepper. How are the living conditions in country while deployed? First, we stayed in tents. It was dusty, cold. Then we stayed in Connex containers, which was a little bit better with bunk beds. But we had our own separate sides. We had like a divider and stuff, two to a container. They were a Connex container. I guess they were little. They looked like a Connex container. If you were to drive an F1 car, would the G's be the easiest part to deal with for you? I don't think the G's are the same. It's more lateral. Highest altitude, I don't know, 50 something, 50. Did you know that Canada doesn't have enough crew members to operate all our fighters? You got a pilot shortage? Color me shocked. Everybody does. Have you done evac? If so, how was it? And would you rather be pepper sprayed or tased? Oof. I would rather be tased. And I have done. We did was NAPD or whatever, the thing where you go in the parking lot and do the cones. It was fun. NAPD? I don't remember what it's called. It was basically like autocross. It was easy. They do the shuffle steer though, which when you go to a racing school, they tell you don't shuffle steer. So, did your ex-fiance steal a Viper for the commies? No. No. Do you need a pilot's license to start flying in the Navy? No, but it helps. How many zeros have you shot down? I have not flown Tomcats. Tomcats! So, 0. Good night, Robert. Which Viper and Hornet? So I flew Block 25s, Block 30s, Block 42s in the Viper. Most of my time was in the Block 30. And I flew 8 pluses at 204, but I flew Cs, Bs, and Ds. So basically A through D for the Hornet. What are your plans for your next DCS video? You assume I have plans, sir or ma'am. Tased is better. You know why Tased is better? Because they did the thing where they did like one side to like the top of my boot, and it like loosened up everything in my back. Like it felt very therapeutic. I mean, it sucked while it was happening, but like I felt good. Like I felt loose after. Wouldn't mind doing it again. When was your last book published? Oh, it's sad. Last year, probably. Might have been 2018. It might have been a while. Do you think the RAAF is good? Yes. Compare GE and Pratt in the F-16, definitely GE. Would you have rather gone to a different UPT base, or was Enid America the best? I got no complaints with Enid America. I busted my ass a lot on the ice because we had a lot of snowstorms. F-22 or Su-57? I know it's a stupid question. Okay, worth $279. We'll call it the Raptor. Should I get my instrument rating before submitting packages to squadrons? Would it help? Yeah, it would help. I don't think you should wait, though. I mean, start submitting and then update as required. Oh, when are you buying an RV kit and posting some vlogs building it? I don't build. I'm not a builder. I don't trust myself to build. If you could fly one 5th gen fighter, what would it be? F-22. Do you recommend going guard or reserve to fly fighters? Yes. Either of those is fine. Guard's a little better, especially if they own their own iron. They don't have all that active duty stink on them, but either way, good to go. Tase goes away fast. Spray stays around like a case of harpies. Have you answered the gun question? If so, do you think we were making a mistake not having a gun on the F-35B or C? I didn't answer that question, but is it a mistake? I mean, we seem to relearn lessons that we should have already learned. But again, probably done because of the B and weight savings because it needed a VTOL. Pratt and Whitney, does Pratt and Whitney deserve its Pratt and Whitney? I've never heard that. I've always heard Pratt and Wimpy. What's the status of the next audiobooks? That's a good question. I need to follow up. Executive Reaction was done, and then Audible kicked it back to the producer, and I need to follow up on what happened. What book did you enjoy writing the most? Finney Flight. Absolutely Finney Flight. Just getting into the flanker stuff and writing that scene with the A-10 and the train. That was awesome. That was great. Let's see. He skipped me. Sad day for the Black Widow 2 and Grey Ghost. May they live on in the Japanese Y3. I don't know what that means. Need a gun? I always need a gun. What? Hey, Mover, I want to join the Air Force, but I'm afraid of the chemicals and mind control. What do I do? You won't even notice. Is Hot Shots coming to Mover Ruins Movies? Yes, it is. What's the country you like visiting the most? Oh, man. I really like Bermuda. Well, I guess that's not really the country, but yeah. What is wrong with Viper Pratt and Whitney's? I think they sound good. Well, they sound good. Are all your books digital or hard copies? They are both. Pretty sure they were retired. Blah, blah, blah. Will the Space Force have airplanes? No, they'll have X-Wing fighters. TIE fighters. Right? TIE fighters or X-Wing? I don't know. Depends on which side. Play some DCS, man. We'll do it tomorrow night on Twitch. Raymond, my head nerd, chief nerd, asked me today when we're doing that because he wants to fly with me. So I'm going to rip the wings off of a flanker again, I think. Because I know how to work the thing now. How hard is fighter training and pulling G's? Very. Would you ever fly corporate? Maybe. I almost got a job flying those, was it the Eclipse jet, the single pilot one? I think that'd be cool. Do you have motorcycles? I used to. I sold it 2010. It's been a while. I'd have to go through some kind of course again to go drive a motorcycle at this point. Have you ever went into air-to-air combat? No, no one has in the last 30 years. Well, yeah, close. You watching The Mandalorian? No, I don't have Disney Plus. I'm a poor. I have watched The Expanse though, so that is sci-fi. Thoughts on Marine Corps pilots? I don't know why people like. They're awesome. I've flown with them, trained with them. I've got nothing but respect for all services. Aircraft quality. They've suffered some maintenance issues. Why did they shut down Homestead? It's not shut down. They shut it down as an active duty base, but it's still a reserve base. If the DoD lets you fly their Su-27s, would you? If the DoD let me fly anything, I would. Are you a better pilot than Tom Cruise? Yes. Interested in contract cash? Sure. What would you have done with your life if you had never been a pilot? Ooh, good question. Race car driver? Can I do that? Is that an option? Lawyer, probably. Do you still have the new foster dog? I do. She's currently being created so that I can do this live stream. Can you overcome a below bare minimum GPA to get a pilot slot? Yes. Can you do it, Kaiser? You guys are going to split one. All right, let me leave this water bottle. You can just see ears. Kaiser, you want one? Come here. Got to get up. Come here, Kaiser. Well, watch yourself. What airports do you like and dislike, and why? Ooh, like flying into? I don't know about the flying part, but being at LaGuardia and getting to LaGuardia from the hotel is miserable. A Super Hornet down to Su-22 in 2017. Yeah, they did, but it wasn't a dogfight. It was a really embarrassing several missile shoot attempt. Do you feel like DCS time is actually applicable to learning how to fly? No. I mean the basics, you know, push the stick forward, pull the stick back, and all that stuff. But if you're talking transferable to an actual jet, no. What did I say that wasn't literal? Did you build model planes as a kid? No, I'm not a builder. I'm just not. Mercenary pilot's a real thing? No. Can you fly for an airline while on the guard? Yes. Yes, absolutely. That's what most guard people do. Would you be an AWACS? No. Chance of doing the helicopter series? It's possible. Do you think a dogfight depends on the pilot or the aircraft? I think it depends on the pilot and the aircraft, but mostly the pilot. Unless it's like ridiculous. Like, you know, you're not going to get some really silly aircraft against an F-22, like even with a terrible F-22 pilot. Is it possible to become a fighter pilot with mild hearing loss? Get a waiver. Hello, how is the help instructor doing? Oh, you mean Lester? Lester's doing better. He's flying again. Remember the infographic show saying everything wrong about becoming a fighter pilot? I do. How paint the handle names on pilots' helmets? It's stickers, it's not paint. Does a dogfight depend on the dog? It does. Someone asking to get an academics on rate fight versus radius fight. One circle versus two circle. Go do a roller coaster vid. Are roller coasters even open? Favorite Jeff Dunham character? I don't know. The old man's cool. I liked Ahmed, the dead terrorist. Have you ever met Rico Rodriguez? I have not. Hmm. What's the R2D2 weep sound the F-16 and F-15 make when taxiing? Oh, that's a Pratt thing, Pratt and Whitney. Do you practice spins in fighters? No. Well, not. I did it once in the F-16. It's an Edwards. That's why I was at Edwards. We went out and intentionally did the high alpha or high altitude uh, stall series, the spin. We did the inverted spin and all that stuff. What is an AWACS? Airborne Warning and Control. It's the thing with the spinny dome on it. Think they'll ever make subs large enough to launch drones, jets from? Sure. Any C8 sightings? Yeah, a bunch of them. There's a bunch of C8s around here. They look good when they change the wheels and lower it. Are your books available in print? They are. Amazon, Barnes & Noble. Most G's, we talked about that earlier, 9.8. Do you fish or hunt? Nah. What's it like flying over New Orleans? Awesome. Is there a C8 in your future? Maybe a Z06. How far back do you have to go for the A10 to win a guns-only dogfight? It can be at an F-16, F-15. I mean, they have guns kills against other aircraft. I'm trying to sim land at Hickam. Okay. You had to turn the, no, you don't actually. Let's see, what else we got? Can you get Premier One driver? I don't know him. What's the largest exercise have you ever taken part of? A red flag. Do you have access to the schematics to the F-35 program? And if so, would you like, hold on, to talk to my Chinese friends? Oh, never mind. They tell me they already have them. Yeah, my name's not Clinton. Have you ever seen St. Elmo's fire while flying? Yeah, it's pretty cool. Do you ever see an alligator in New Orleans? All the time. Interesting. You see, you guys always ask if I'm interested in flying something. Sure, I will fly anything. Well, almost anything. Did you know that experienced flying pilots flying the T-38 beat rookie pilots flying the F-22? I would like to hear more about this. What is your family lineage for serving in the military like? 3 or 4 generations of Army? I was the first Air Force in my dad was Army Guard, my grandpa was Army. He served in the Battle of the Bulge. I think great grandpa was one too. Army guy. Are airline pilots as liberal as we are led to believe? No. No, if you looked at our union message board, it's not. Mover Ruins Movies, WW84 Jet Scene. How was that? The reviews are not good. Which bomb was your favorite to drop? Ooh, good question. I like the Mark 83. It was very satisfying in the Hornet. But I mean, it's pretty cool to watch a laser guided bomb. Longest sortie, I think we talked about that earlier, 7. So I was flying from Hawaii, Honolulu. We took off at like midnight or 1 a.m. and we flew 7.5 hours to Dallas because we had to stop in Dallas because we weren't allowed to land at night. We could take off at night, but we couldn't land at night. So that was a 7 something, 7.6 or something like that. And I mean, it was exhausting. My back hurt, if anything. Do you regret not shooting the GAU and the A10? Sure. F-3022 T-38 happened one time. Former F-22 driver got in a T-38, and that's how he did it. Intimate knowledge. I have a secret for you guys. We do it all the time. I do this job. Which infighting is worse, Vipers versus Eagles or Hornet versus Tomcats? Well, Tomcats are gone. All the dudes, I mean, I think Viper versus Eagle, but I think everybody gangs up on the Eagles because, you know. Can you feel a bomb detached from the airframe? You can. You can feel the jet rock, especially if it's a big bomb, like a 2,000 pounder or something. What, if anything, impressed you the most with DCS F-16 or F-18 given your real life experience? I think just how everything looks. Like when you put VR on, I've had the tendency to like want to reach up and mess with stuff and flip switches and stuff. I mean, just how immersive, you feel like you're really sitting in a jet. My longest sortie in the AWACS is 23.5 hours, 2 tankers. Somebody was telling me, it's in Noonan's book. Oh, Gonky was telling me this. Like a B2 crew, longest sortie was like 47 hours. I can't even imagine. It's crazy. I hear a lot about waivers. Could I get one and fly fighters if I'm 64? Make them tell you no. Just make them tell you no. That's awesome. You're my boy, Blue. If you had to sell your Corvette to buy a classic car, what classic would you buy? I own a classic car, sir. I think the 2019 Corvette 01 is a classic. Favorite Christmas song? I'm going to do this on the vlog with the puppy, but Carrie Underwood did an Oh Holy Night, and it's like, oh holy crap. I mean, that's awesome. But I do like all the Trans-Siberian Orchestra stuff. But I think Oh Holy Night's a really good one. Gives you goosebumps. Ever drop a Hades? Yes, but only once. When is Gonky uploading a new video? You'll have to ask Gonky. Allegedly, though, he said it was going to be New Year's Eve and New Year's Day because he wanted to take advantage of all the drunk people with hangovers. His words, not mine. Do you watch Vet TV? No. I mean, I've seen a couple of things on YouTube, but I don't actually watch the channel. When you flew back from Hawaii, how many times? I think we were refueled like 15 or 16 times. Not because we needed to, but because, well, we needed to, but we had to maintain divert fuel in case something happened that we could get to the various divert stages. So it's basically like, the Navy talks about a ladder. So there was a couple times where we'd refuel, we'd fly for like 15 minutes, and then we'd be right back on the boom because we had to stay topped off. Are Alaska airline pilots really the best out there? Do you watch Cobra Kai? Yes. I'm excited. I like Cobra Kai. Favorite meal to eat on a long mission? Side question. How many times did you drop FOD in the cockpit? I always just ate Cliff Bars. And yeah, I have done it a few times. One time I dropped my pen because I was trying to unload. I was like, oh, my back feels, um, I feel like my spine's compressed. So I rolled inverted and pushed, to try to get, just relieve some of the pressure. And my pen flew out of my pocket and ended up back there. What the frag does Gonky mean? You'll have to ask him on his channel, The Ready Room. 737 Maxter, I just joined. Sorry if it was asked, but what is the situation with your airline job? I've been on a leave of absence for most of this year. Um, I've applied for another one in the next year, but if not, I'll be back in like March. Favorite kick? When Morton Anderson kicked a 60-yard field goal in the Superdome. Give us Conky's number so I can harass him. Scariest moment in theater? Um, I was just reading about this the other day. I was looking at my old emails. So I was a new lieutenant, and I was so when I went to Iraq, it was my first like non-graded mission. I talked about this before. So I'd done training, and then they're like, okay, you're brand new, very inexperienced fighter pilot. So they said, we don't want you to fly at night, even though it would have been better on my body clock, um, because I would have still been on US time. They're like, we want you to be days because we want you to fly in daylight because Balad is dark as hell. I mean, and there's no cultural lighting. Night missions are more complicated, more complex. So they want me to do day. And I think it was my second or third mission. And I was taking off on the day go, but it was like a 3 a.m. brief and a 4 a.m. takeoff, which meant even though I was supposed to be a day guy, I was taking off in pitch black. And so on the ground, I had some flight control issues. They cleared up. I had a couple of things we had to work through. And then on takeoff, what we used to do was take off in blower, and we had to get 400 knots by the end of the runway because we were going to pitch up because we wanted to be above a certain altitude by the time we crossed the fence line, so to avoid small arms fire, stuff like that. And I remember I was taking off and I was waiting, to hit 400 knots, and I got a big master caution, and it was bright, it was just super bright. Um, so I punched it off and I looked and I had flight control issues. I had a flight control malfunction, pitch roll and yaw lights, which are not good. So instead of like being experienced and waiting, as I'm climbing out, I decided, I can look and see what it is and clear it out. So I go heads down, and the F-16 is the worst fighter for spatial disorientation in the world because you don't have a canopy bow and there's nothing out there. And I just remember looking down and seeing what it was, and then when I looked up, nothing made sense. Like the HUD was like all wonky, and the look down at the ADI, and what I realized, when I went back and looked at the tape, I had basically spatial D'd myself, spatial disorientation, into a slicing through the horizon at 800 feet above the ground. I could have been a smoking hole in the ground. So that was the sortie where I had to reset the light. Lights wouldn't reset. I came back around. I think we declared emergency or whatever. Landed, and it's combat, so you don't just, oh well, jet's broken, I'm going in. After all that, you have to go step to the spare. Flight lead waits for you, and then get airborne and go do your tasking and stuff. So I think that was probably one of the scariest. The other scary combat one was coming back on my very first combat mission, and the supervisor flying was like, "Hey, dude, weather's rolling in, and it looked clear above, but what it was a dust storm was rolling through, and had obscured the runway." And my limits were 500 feet in a mile and a half, and the visibility went down to I don't know what, but He's like, all right, well, you divert to Al Assad, and there was no tanker, so he put me out front to land because I was the wingman. Put me out front so he could orbit in case I had to divert, and the ILS stopped working, and I ended up real high because the controller did this slam dunk approach, and I put the steer point, like while I was orbiting, I put the steer point on the end of the runway because you could see it above. It's just when you got low, the visibility was obscured. So I put the steer point on the end of the runway, verified it was right with the targeting pod, and then when I went to land, it just basically, visibility went to nothing. And I basically, it was either that or divert, and I didn't really have the gas to divert, so I landed on the diamond. And when I touched down, I was like, oh, I hope I'm on the runway. So just stupid stuff you do as a lieutenant, but I guess they're both kind of scary. What else you got? If aliens invaded, would you punch one and say, welcome to Earth? Or would you just push buttons in the alien ship? Why not both? Do girls exist? I don't think so. Mover, have you ever had a bird strike? Multiple times. As a pilot, how much of the engineering of the jet do you need to know? Basic mechanics, just enough to understand in-flight problems? You need to have a good understanding of how the aircraft works. You don't need to fix or repair anything yourself other than troubleshooting in flight. Names are stenciled on the side of the fighters. Does that mean the plane is yours and yours alone? No. It's kind of an honor. Usually, it's by seniority in the squadron. And, when a jet comes up and one pilot leaves, they just stencil your name on, and that's your jet. So, you can go hang out with the crew chief and stuff like that. But we fly whatever's available on the schedule, because if we only flew one jet, chances are a lot of us would never fly. Wow, we've been here 2 hours. Maybe it's time to shut this down. Do you get a pilot slot after the board interview or after OTS? After the board interview. You get it prior to going OTS. Have you dated a female fighter pilot before? Yeah. 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 Not the best thing I've ever done. Have you ever flown with and why? Yes. What do you think about the new fighters? I like them. Which 5th gen fighter would you like to fly? F-35. Or F-22, sorry. God, I said Fat Amy. Which planes would you not fly? Fatties? Can you talk about modern helmet tech? No. Have you ever seen a jet zapped? What is that? Oh, yeah, I have. How did you get your start as an author? I wrote a book. Well, I wrote about this, or I did a video about this before, but basically, nope, no agent, self-published. I wrote coming back from Iraq. My girlfriend at the time was writing something, so I'm like, well, I'll write something too. I shelved it. I came back. When I transferred to the Navy, I had some downtime. I'm like, well, let me pick it up and finish it. And then I tried querying literary agents, didn't have enough patience to wait for them all to reject me, and then I self-published. When will pilots become obsolete? Never. Would getting a job at a fighter reserve unit while in college increase the chance of them giving you a pilot slot? Depends on what the job is. Enlisted, if you have exposure, sure. But if not, then depends on the unit. Have you heard of 6th gen fighter? Sure. Do you feel Army would get jetpacks before the Air Force? No. I have flown the 737 MAX. What do you prefer, 2-person jet or 1-person jet? Did you ever fly single piston general aviation aircraft? Yes, many times. Air Force female or Navy female or both? What does that mean? Have you ever flown any World War II fighters? No. Does Folds of Honor ship to the UK? I don't know. That's a good question. FOH.org. Did you ever fly near or out of Cold Lake, Canada? No, but they came down to us. Dated. Oh, she was Air Force. Tomcats. Brett paid $5 to hear that. Oh, cool. Thank you for teaching me so much through your videos. I've made multiple 6 to 10 year plans for my career of flying in the Air Force. That's cool. Who treats their people better, Air Force or Navy? That's a great question. I think the Navy treats you more like an adult. Have you heard the I'm a Pilot? Is that the one with the helicopter guy singing about fighter pilots? Or is that something else? You ever been to Lake Charles? Oh, yeah, a lot of times. I grew up about 45 minutes from there. Opinions on the Su-30 MKI and Rafale? I would fly both of them. If you ain't ammo, you ain't shit, from Brandon, right? Have a good one, man. I was in the 62nd at Luke. The plural of aircraft is aircraft. Yeah, I actually have flown the MD-500. Well, not the MD-500. The OH-6, which is I don't know what the hell it is. Is it an MD-500? I don't know. I have flown the OH-6 though. They have both. That was the first helicopter I actually tried to hover. Are Navy pilots always based on a ship while deployed? Mostly, yes. Marines do shore-based stats, but the Navy is pretty much all boats. Stephanie is still flying with the Sheriff's Department? Yes. You're going to fly with the Sheriff? I hope so. Can you get a PhD while flying fighters? It'd be tough. You ever flown out of Luke? Yep. Were you in New Orleans during Katrina? I was. Well, I left. I evacuated. How many hours are you pushing? I don't know what that means. I have done a video on call signs. Airwolf, for sure. Awesome, Tyler. He says, I want you to know I find you very inspiring. Because of you, I decided to follow my childhood dream of flying. My dad was a crew chief, gave up when I was younger, but now I'm making them tell me no. That is awesome, dude. Good job. Have you ever declared an emergency in your commercial airliner? No. Why is a T-38 jet hard to fly? Short, stubby wings. Definitely underpowered in some situations. Is it possible to be in any military branch and still go to civilian pilot school to try to become an airline pilot? Yes, in the reserves or guard. Yeah, NZ pilot was a helo driver. Favorite racing series? NASCAR. NASCAR. Anyway, I think we've done enough. It has been 2 hours we've talked to end the year. There will be some more videos between now and the end of the year, for sure, because I'm going to do the clips. But twitch.tv/movercwl. I flew the Pitts S2. You guys keep asking questions. I can't stop. Pitts S2 is what I got my tail wheel in. I do eat the airline food sometimes. How many pets do I have? 2 and 1 foster right now. Awesome. All right. Well, I'm not even going to do the end thing because I don't know what happened here, but I hope you guys enjoyed this. Thank you all for everything. Thanks for all that you do. Go to one of my videos and hit the Folds of Honor donate button. It's a worthy cause. Awesome. It's something I truly support. And thank you for being here, all 292,000 of you. And hopefully 2021 is much better for everybody. And looking forward to much better things. So hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. See if I can do this. Do the not as smooth when I have to figure this out. Excuse me. Oh, no. Oh! About a lot of that.
Gosh. Usually fine with the doors off. All Fox speed. Don't be a douche. That's rule number 1.
Make them tell you no.